I am an officer in one of the larger cities that's being affected by the protests and riots right now in Oregon, and I wrote up a small paper, if you will, just in regards to my experiences of what I've seen and experienced while working there. It's called Imagine. Imagine obtaining your career goal that you have worked so hard for your entire life, getting signed on to serve the community in hopes to help people, give them justice, and hold people accountable for criminal activity. As a female, I didn't believe I was good enough or strong enough for such a job in law enforcement. I worked hard and was hired on by a city I loved and saw a future in advancing my career with. I was offered other agencies, but I chose this one. I've happily been involved in many church and community events over the years and have developed long-lasting positive relationships with that community that I serve. Working with children, teens, elderly, giving them high fives, ride-alongs, and supportive talk groups, as well as resources to help them long-term in their lives. These incidents make our tough and sometimes dangerous job very much worth it. Now, imagine going through that same job with none of that. The city essentially is shut down due to strict COVID regulations, vandalism, and rioting on a nightly basis, sometimes over 80 days. Officers are pulled from regular shifts, from taking police calls, to now only work protest and riot duties. This makes it limited for what and when other officers taking regular police calls can respond to. On some nights, there are 20, 50, and I've seen over 100 calls for the police holding, and no officers available during those times. No community events are being attended, and police officers are being ambushed unprovoked all over the U.S. Citizens are now flipping you off, saying, "F you, pig, all cops are bastards," while you drive or walk by around the city instead of giving you a smile or a simple hello. I cannot go home at the end of a long shift because rioters have surrounded our parking lots for hours maybe, while working protest lines in the streets, being told, "I hope someone kills you and your family. I hope someone rapes you violently. We will find where you live, kill your family, and burn your home down." I submit forms to the city attempting to shield these rioters from finding you and your families, home or private information. The courts deny the motion and may be releasing your personal information soon. I rarely want to work overtime anymore, but I feel guilty because almost every shift is below minimum staffing on the streets, making the risk even higher for you and your coworkers. Imagine having fireworks, feces, urine, rocks, bricks, and other dangerous items thrown at you during these riots. Imagine not being able to react to those criminal actions or behaviors until it is deemed a certain level of dangerous. Not only have we been accused of starting fires and perpetuating the violence at these riots, the undertone of the city's administration is that we are the root cause of this violence. The police, by default, make the situation worse, which is, in my opinion, false. To my knowledge, our organization is up to date on the national standards of policing. Therefore, the people who are speaking out that we are unqualified or not trained properly have no evidence that these statements are correct and are purely speaking on emotions at this point. So what do you do? What can you do? Working for the city downtown right now is like working on a burning ship. Anytime you try to make change by putting out these fires, it quickly gets reignited because your captains, which are political leaders, are throwing fuel on the fire. This ship crew is working as hard as they can, and their families are suffering. Seeing my coworkers at such a low morale on a daily basis with no end in sight by our political leaders is disheartening. Many are considering and have put in applications to other agencies. This will result in less officers on the street, and the city will be affected greatly in negative ways. So the question is, do I jump off the ship and hope that I can swim to land? Or do I stay with my crew, my career, and attempt to continue putting out the fire with little to no helpful leadership in hopes that change may come? Imagine.